Hello, Internet. Hello, Internets and fellow elite hacksaws online.
Oh, what?
You are so down with the
Sorry,
kids, mate.
I'm trying to go back to my mid 2000s online gaming chat just for the other millennials that play in the NZMEL. I hope they can all hear me as well. Speaking of which, well, this could just be yet another in a long line of pointless sort of circle jerk type behaviours that happens on, and they call it mine. If you can hear me, I am here with George H. Costello. Say hi, George.
Where's the H come from?
I don't know. What is your middle name?
Lawrence.
And what's your mother's maiden name?
I think stick with the H.
in the street that your first school was on?
If my middle name was Lawrence, I wouldn't be commenting on other people's assumptions what my middle name was. I'd be keeping very quiet.
My first pet's name was Bob as well, if you need any more.
Hey, so was mine.
Thanks, mate.
Dog named Bob. That's cool.
Yep.
Snap.
It was Bob H. Costello.
Bob H. Costello. It was Bob H. Moffat for us, which is maybe pretty worse. And of course, Damien's also here. Damien H. Mellon. Say hi, Damien.
Hi, Damien.
Yes, see, Denny does that when he's here. He does the hi, Denny. I hope George would do it, but he doesn't.
But you just feel the need to recreate Denny when I'm here.
Whereas I need to recreate Denny. I'm trying to embody Denny.
Right, it's working. It's working.
Thanks. I need to roll more sixes or something, or get good at the game.
Be good at the game.
Whoa! Don't go that far.
Tell me about
it. Getting good at the game. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know how to get good at the game. If anyone follows my blog, the sound technical advice, they are doing it wrong.
Doing an impromptu audio
test. I thought we were about to get a shameless blog drop in the first minute, and I was like, Damien, you have to be aware there is no viewers here. I don't know who you're pointing this one off to.
Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. Hey, if you like watching Twitch streams, you should sign up for Fog on the Rematakas on May the 11th and 12th.
That's great chat. Thank you guys for just filling that dead air for a minute there while I did an impromptu audio test as well. So I think I was a little quiet before, and hopefully I'm not now, because I'm the most important person here, and I'll be doing most of the talking, and I'm the person everyone comes to watch, so you want to hear what I've got to say. Anyway.
That might get any further into Sam's mouth.
I mean, it could. I thought I sounded quite quiet on the stream, and so I just thought it'd be helpful to maybe just mark a little closer to myself. But if it's too close, then that's fine. If you don't like it, then I guess George, you could find someone else to do this with. No, not a silence there, and I've just listened back, and it sounds great. So that long little soliloquy just then was actually mainly just for another audio test. Sorry, it sounded really aggro towards you. It wasn't meant to be. I just had to keep talking. Anyway, right, we're online. We're all here. We've done the intros. We've confirmed we sound kind of all right, and we should get to the actual list review, because as George said, we want to bang through this and unusually fast for us, so we're aiming for 3 or 4 hours today. Side by Side 2024. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it. George, are you looking forward to it?
I certainly am. I always love a hometown event. Get to go home and see the family, but also spend the weekend playing Lord of the Rings. I can't complain.
It's a dream come true. What about you, Damien? You going to head along and have a great time?
I am. I'm going to head along. Our team was on again, off again. Didn't know what was going on, and then a couple of weeks ago we were on again. So traveling up on Friday. It's going to be an awesome weekend.
Great, fabulous. I'm not going. Which maybe is why I'm looking forward to it so much. But I'm here reviewing lists because that's what I do. This is what I live for. This is my passion. This is my hobby, is reviewing lists. I just make lists and review them to myself hours a day. And I thought instead of doing that this time, I would do a side-by-side list review. So it looks like it's going to be an interesting event from the lists that I've seen that we're about to go through. There's a lot of large numbers in there. I think is what their main takeaways were when we were going through this before, wasn't it?
I mean, I guess we should go over points and all that sort of jazz.
Sure. Go for
it. It's 2 350-point lists, not to be confused with 1 700-point list.
2 400-point lists. You guys, your team can play 2 350-point lists.
It's 400. I'm fine.
Yep. Is it 400? No, you guys are setting me up here, right?
No, it's 400.
It's not. There's no way.
I submitted 2 400-point lists.
All right.
and it's been approved.
Maybe we should have done our homework on this. I'm not going. I thought it was 400 because I've been several times in the past. It's always been 400 historically.
I've just submitted 2 350-point lists that have also been approved. So.
I mean, it's not the TO's job to tell you your list sucks. Maybe he thought you were just taking.
I also wouldn't put it past this TO to
just not
get us to play 100 points down. Just to why not for shits and gigs.
Okay, well, look, somebody looked that up really quickly while I fill air again, and we will try and establish how many points are in this event that we're just reviewing now.
Okay, good. You be on it. Okay, so there are things that we can talk about, though. So it is a doubles tournament. It is 2 lists of a yet-to-be-confirmed number. Each of the lists need to be faction pure, so you can't have an alliance within each of those 2 halves of your army, but you can have an alliance across the 2 forces in your army. So the maximum number of factions you're going to have in an army is 2. So obviously one of those first choices that you have is, are you going pure? Are you mixing? What are your synergies? Where are your caps at? And I think we'll find, as with last year, there's a range of things. I think we'll find as with last year, there's a bunch of elves allied into things because, aren't they just horrible?
Just helpful. Just helpful. Yeah. Just useful to sprinkle into things.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that sums up pretty well. I think George, what is it? 400 it is, isn't it?
Touche, Damien. Touche.
It is 400. Did you genuinely submit 2 350-point lists?
Yeah, you guys. I'll be impressed if you guys catch the 700-point list in this.
God, that is phenomenal.
This is what happens when Denny's in Japan on a Japanese beer raid fuel trip, and I have no support in building lists.
This is so good. I cannot wait. All right, okay.
I'm impressed if you spot the 700-point list.
Let's go through. I'm going to start doing that. Normally, I'm the one who puts all the lists together and does all the checking and stuff and sorts them out, but I've left that to the TO this time. And so I haven't done all the maths on them all, and so I haven't found this out, and I'm really genuinely intrigued to see what it's like. So, without any further ado, let's get trucking through. Oh, oops. Back to slide 1. All right, first list here. Furiously doing the maths. Minas Tirith. We've got Mighty Boromir with Horse, Shield, and Banner, leading 5 Warriors with Shield, 4 Rangers with Spear, 2 Fountain Courts, and a Citadel Guard with Longbow and Horse. What a great little model. And also an Avenger Bolt Thrower with Switch Reload. And then we have Decrepit Denethor, leading 6 Warriors with Shield, 5 Fountain Courts, Huron the Tool, with another one of those Citadel Guard on Longbow and Horse. Just a great model. Also got 3 Rangers with Spears, 2 regular Rangers, 5 Warriors with Shield, and 1 Warrior with a Banner. And we've got the mighty Ridge Dice Bearer. Always great to see him dropped in there. Is this the first time he's been using a tournament this year?
No, he made an appearance at OTT. Daniel took him.
Great.
And he got a single kill against a Warrior Rohan, and it was the most glorious moment. Everyone was absolutely thrilled.
Congratulations to Ridge Dice Bearer. That's really great.
I think he tied up Gimli for a few turns though as well. Like he was getting stuck in. He was doing work.
Have we made him overpowered? Is he busted? Did we got to maybe FAQ him or something? Is that on the cards?
You know what? If everyone in this event has bought one, we'll call them busted.
Must take. Okay. Well, this list overall, I like to see the Citadel Guard Longbow and Horse. Now, if I've mentioned that, but I think it's a great little model. 40 would be very good numbers at 700, and it's all right numbers at 800. Helped out very much by the Boromir Banner and the Fight 5 D7 shenanigans, plenty of bows, plenty of shooting. It's just a solid little Minas Tirith Banner list, really, isn't it?
It's really like what you'd expect to see from a very competitive Minas Tirith list until you look at that last Warman.
Someone's taking this game very seriously, and then just taking Ridge Dice Bearer as well, because why not?
I think someone's taking this game very seriously with a partner who's gone, I'm not taking this game very seriously.
Yeah, that partner's gone, just save me the 20 points. And...
yeah, I'm really interested to see the dynamic between these two players. Also, one person's been stuck with Denethor and Ridge, while the other person's getting to run around with Boromir.
Yeah,
that person running around with Boromir has a handful of people and a bolt thrower. So the Ridge Huron Denethor person does have twice the number of models.
This could be one of those pairings where the Boromir player is playing almost all of the army and the other player is just playing Ridge. Perhaps it could be very much. Is it going to be evenly split, or is it going to be a little more? What about going here? What about doing this? Sort of style of play.
It is a very cool list, and it's, if I remember, I haven't played doubles since the last side-by-side event, but I'm pretty sure there's a scenario in there that's like equivalent of Contest of Champions, right, where like both heroes contribute. Boromir's definitely going to have to do a fair whack of heavy lifting there, because Denethor, safe to say, isn't going to exactly be wrapping them up. But Boromir on horse without the lance can struggle to get kills as well, so it'll be interesting how they go on that one. But also, when you've got that much Fountain Court and D6, the other team's heroes are going to struggle as well, right?
Yeah, they're going to slow things go up. It works. I'm interested. I don't know how Denethor's has to be the leader thing interacts with the Army A, Army B, the way they sort of structure the two halves in this doubles.
I think you can still, like, each army still gets its own leader.
Yeah, which maybe helps a little bit for the Denethor woes.
True. Yeah,
but overall, that's a solid list. It's got most of the bases covered.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's going to perform well.
Yeah, I think it is. And the numbers,
you've got the Huron combo in there, which means even if you do manage to take down the leader, you've still got to take down Huron to get those points. So
yeah, it's true.
Really solidly built list, even with Denethor as a weaker leader character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good fun. 41's a good numbers, actually, really, when you think about the bolt thrower.
Great numbers at 700
as well. Great numbers at 700. All right at 800, but much better when you think about Boromir and the Avenger bolt thrower in there as well, because that's 300 points just those two. Lovely. Right. Track on. 2. You won't like me when I'm Angmari. Maybe this is you, Damien. This is a real Damien kind of vibe to the name, if nothing else.
I got really thrown there by we're used to Sam automatically having the slideshow and the thing. I was like, why is my list not? I'm still stuck on the god. It took me so long to process it. I have to manually do this on myself.
Oh, it's so tough, George.
We're making you work for it, mate.
It's so hard, your life, man. Wow, what a trial. Right, we've got a Witch King. He's 312 and 2, which already is controversial. He's got an armored horse, controversial, with a crown of Morgul and the Morgul blade, controversial. He's leading 3 Warg riders with shield and throwing spears. He's also going to bring a Shade with him. Shade's leading an Orc banner spear, 4 shield orcs, 4 spear orcs, a couple of 2-hand weapon orcs, and a Deadmarch Spectre. Great stuff. Then we've got Gullivar leading 2 shield and 2 spear orcs and a Deadmarch Spectre. And then a Barrow-wight leading 2 more shields, 2 more spears, a couple of 2-handers, and a Cave Troll for 31 models, 6 points of might, 3 throwing weapons, and 4 cavalry.
I don't think there's anything controversial at all around a 312-2 Witch King.
Sorry? You what?
Where's the controversy in that? It's like a well-designed.
Is the controversy that it doesn't have 8 other riders as a legendary legion? Is that what you're angling at?
The controversy is, why is it not a 314-3 Witch King, sir? I think that's free.
312-2 is perfectly reasonable.
No, you want that 3rd point of fate. If you don't have that, I'm sorry. It's a 1 wound.
I would go the 13th well before I went the 3rd fate.
I think that's wrong.
I agree.
314-3. 314-3, that's the minimum Witch King I'm playing.
But again, you've got 9 models, Sam.
No, well, I played the Witch King.
Nothing else to spend your points on.
It was 314-3, maybe 314-3.
Yeah. I think here, okay, so we've just seen an army that's all right numbers at 800 points, and we're hanging around 40. This is 30. Yeah, so we're looking for 31 models here. Decisions had to be made, I think, around speed and around model count.
The decision is regular horse, no Morgul blade, 314-3. Bang, done. There you go.
Why would you leave home without that Morgul blade?
Waste of time.
I agree. I think it's never an armored horse and it's never a blade, but exactly. I'm adding more orcs every single day of the week before I'm adding more will and fate. Really, really cool list though. Like, it's always, I like seeing Angmar when it brings in a Shade.
I like a top heavy Angmar list. Yeah. Like this.
Yep. I like to see a Birder when you've got a Shade though. That profile's just such a monster around the Shade.
That's true. Maybe swap that.
It is true. Cave Troll doesn't have Angmar keyword, so Cave Patrol is affected by the Shade ability. Predator is not, because he does have the Angmar keyword.
Great shout,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, yeah.
Obviously, it is in a separate list, so quite often they are going to be separated. But if you're taking a shade list, the whole idea is you're going to want to pair up really pretty good, like quickly, right? Obviously, very, very vulnerable to shooting. This list, if it versus any sort of heavy shooting, it's going to struggle with only 31 models, but also having a cave throw and all that sort of jazz, and also Gulliver post FAQ.
Gulliver, yeah.
Now doesn't get line of sight blocked by its own troops. And typically not only crush itch events but doubles event, you tend to see quite a lot of shooting. So we'll see how it plays out for that. But like if this gets into combat pretty untouched from shooting, not a lot you can do to stop it.
Yep, got a bit of punch there. Got some bodies, got a bit of punch, got a shade.
He can put the whole game on his back half the time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He's a dicey leader though.
I guess unavoidable, isn't it? Though?
Completely unavoidable for sure. Yeah,
you're absolutely right though. He is definitely
I mean, this is the opposite to the last one in terms of the contest scenarios, right? It's going to have an absolute field day.
Yeah, it's true. Although the Witch King can't do too much with that lack of lack of fate. So, you know. Right. Good stuff. That's my views. I've got strong Witch King views these days. Never used to have them, but I do now.
I'm sure you do, buddy.
I do.
We all have strong views about your Witch King as well, actually.
yeah. Shall we sidebar and talk about that for an hour?
Jealous haters. Somebody else tell me this list. I'm sick of sounding my own voice. I'm not, but the people are.
I got a bloody switch on myself.
Okay, so while George is doing his mahi again, we got Double Dismay, which is Halls of Thranduil and Rivendell. Hey, we made it to 3 lists before you hit a bunch of elves. So on the Halls of Thranduil side, we got Thranduil with heavy armor on an elk with a sword. He's got a circlet. He's got a bow. 3 Palace Guard with shield. 12 Palace Guard with spear and shield. The Rivendell side, Glorfindel with Aspaloth, armor of Gondolin. 4 High Elves with shield. 2 with spear and shield. 1 with a banner spear and shield. And good old Círdan with 3 High Elf warriors with shield. 2 High Elf warriors with bow. Coming in at 30 models, 7 might, 3 bows, 2 cav.
So, you know that big shooting list you talked about? It's not here yet.
Yeah.
Lots of elves.
The whole way through, I was like, it must be coming. Where the bows are coming, right?
Yeah.
Left behind.
However, who needs bows when you have Mighty Glorfindel to counter Gulliver with his armor? Who needs it?
Very true. Very true. And you got the mighty Blinding Light, and you got the mighty 15 Palace Guard.
This is solid. Like, you're running 30 models, so it's the same size of the Angmar force, but you've got all of your tech pieces here to control the matchups that you want. You've got speed, you've got Glorfindel with armor and on Aspaloth, and you've got Círdan to deal with that early shooting situation.
And Double Dismay. Don't forget the Double Dismay.
Double Dismay. How does it? Weird question, but how does this go against the Angmar list? Like, does the Aura of Dismay counter the fact that you don't have shooting and that you're going to win in that way, or does the Shade just run absolutely supreme against elves? Like, who cares if you fight 6 when you can't roll a 6?
Yeah, that's true. That's unhelpful. But at the same time, you're still the higher defense.
Unhelpful is the biggest understatement I've heard. You got -1 to all your rolls. It's pretty unhelpful.
Can I say something maybe controversial? Is that I think this is perhaps the rare doubles list that is almost designed to be played completely separately. This is like 2 separate little nuggets that are going to be very hard to chew through. Like, I feel like my first time I came to doubles, I think I played somebody who had basically that Thranduil warband was 1/2 their army, and I played my half of our list into the Thranduil half, and it just when they're in a little bubble and just hunkering down, it's quite tough to chew through.
Look, I think Thranduil's Halls is a list that really gets played optimally because of the models available, right? Like, you can never convince me that 15 Palace Guard is the perfect warband for Tarantulas, right? Like, however, we all know those are the models you can actually get for the list, so it makes complete sense to have them. But like, surely ideally here you're looking for a Cav or two and changing the Palace Guard to Mirkwood Glaives. But you're right, like as a standalone warband, it's a lot to get through of like 15 essentially fight 6
plus 1 to wound
elves.
Little
Yeah,
and when you think
with Terra
in a number of these double scenarios, one person is starting in the hot zone while the other person arrives. Both of these armies, if they're deployed in that hot zone, they can absolutely hold until the others get there, and it's an important thing to be.
I hope if we play you, Damien, I'm going to refer to nothing but the hot zone as the very serious.
All right, let's get into the hot zone and take a look at this next list. Rohan and Lothlorien.
Here it is. Here's the list. Here's my favorite list for sure.
Is this you?
I wish this looks 800 points. This is definitely not me.
It does. We've got Aemir with a horse and a shield, leading a royal guard on horse with a throwing spear and a outrider who's just jogging along behind them. Then we've got Mighty Durnhelm, and then Mighty Grimbold with 12 Helmingas with throwing spears, shields, and also axes too. Chop chop. On the Lorien side, we've got Haldir with cloak, bow, heavy armor, leading a sentinel and 4 wood elf warriors with elf bows. I've got views on Wood Elf Warriors. Then Rumil, leading a Galathrun warrior with banner and shield, 4 Galathrun pikes, and then 7 warriors with spear and shield. Total of 36 Soldaten, 15 might, I think. Yikes. 6 bows, another 13 throwing spears, and 3 horsies.
This list is very good. I really like this list. I think I've recently learned we all live in Grimbold's world. Where were we, 2 years ago that we've had Grimbold attend 5 events in a row or something?
So
the man is the meta. He's so good. Again, though, like, where are the bows? What's going on here?
Where are the bows, eh? I mean, I guess to be fair, I'm not looking. Is that... No, they're not even close to limit, actually, are they? No, they're not even nowhere near it. Yeah,
take some outriders. They're a good wee profile. But, yeah. I mean, besides that, it's a pretty perfect list, right? Like, the 4 Galadrim's exactly what you want.
Yep.
The Helming is going to be a strength 4 to back up Elves is such a powerful combo. Like, Good has such, like, restrictions in getting strength 4, and Grimbold's such a cheap entry into that. And it's so useful. And Durnhelm's a fabulous profile. Aim is exactly what you want in terms of like a contest hero.
Yeah.
Haldir may struggle a little bit in that, but also he's no slouch either. So
he's all right.
That's a very nice list.
Yeah, agreed.
It's fun.
It's got, again, like we've seen with most of the list so far, it's got its bases covered.
It does have wood elves. That's my only complaint. If I had to make a complaint.
What a selfless TO. They've just responded to me being like, shit, I didn't even look at the points of your list. I'm so sorry. That's on me. I think it's actually on me for submitting a list 100 points down. I appreciate you trying to take the blame there, but
it's not on him, it's on you.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. George, you actually have to tell us when we see yours. I'm not doing all the maths, but we need to know. I want to see it. This is cool. This is fun. But I hate wood elves.
It stands out like a sore thumb.
Wood elves. No bueno.
Right. I don't mind the wood elves here. If you like, realistically, all that wood elf warband is just 5 bows and Haldir.
Yeah, but
what's wrong with that? Why do they need armor? They're just your bows, which are going to sit on home objectives.
Wood elves.
Absolutely. And do they come with elven cloaks by default?
Yeah.
Okay. So you just park them somewhere that they can't be seen.
Give them
they
armor.
just provide a bit of.
Why?
If they can't be seen, who needs it?
All right. If you guarantee that they're not going to be doing anything except shooting the entire game, and it's never going to come to be an issue, then great.
Well, I mean, it's pretty safe to say they're not going to get shot back at this rate, so.
Yeah.
Wow, it's lucky we're not playing any scenarios with hot zones then, isn't it? Because if I've got my Wood Elf Warriors in the hot zone, I get that feeling pretty fucking hot.
I think Damien will tell you doing something wrong if you got your Wood Elf Warriors in the hot zone.
Sometimes you get a choice. Sometimes you just got to suck it up.
You often need to suck it up when you're in the hot zone, mate.
The hot zone. We're going to rename this channel to the hot zone, I think. We get this cool little mind stuff. The hot zone. In the hot zone with Sam, George, and Damien. All right. Next we have last
I just love the fact that someone could have joined just at that moment.
the hot zone.
No context.
No, you don't need it. You don't need it. It just stands on something. Hot zone. Numenor and Rivendell, last alliance. We have Gilgalad with a horse and a shield, leading 6 Kingsguard with spears and shields, 9 Kingsguard with shields, and 2 Riv Knights with shields. Loves a Kingsguard. And then we've got Elendil with horse and shield, leading 5 warriors with shield, 12 warriors with shield and spear, and 1 warrior with shield, spear, and banner. 37 models, 6 might,
Good.
2 bows, 4
George has already shaken his head because he's thinking with the bow.
Did it say in the player pack, hey, this tournament's 800
No
wins, not
bows.
700? Also, you can't take more than 5 bows.
Look for the list.
They
with
missed
the
that part as
suspiciously
well,
small
like-
number of models with a especially high ratio of bows. That's George's one.
You're playing elves.
You should probably bring it up. Yeah.
You're playing elves, and you're still coming in at 37 models.
That's true,
like-
but it's because you only got 2 heroes. Which probably
You
doesn't-
do only have 2 heroes, but
Yeah.
they're not slouches.
Just 37
I'm not.
models. That's deceiving.
It's very
Does not
large.
look like-
It's very large. Yeah. That's that numbers you, doesn't it, George? It's a fight 6, strength 4, last alliance that outnumbers you. Hope you got a lot of arrows. Hope you got a lot of bows. You're gonna need a lot of bows, my friend, because that's all you're gonna get. That's all you've got.
I'm terrified of the amount of fight 6 that's floating around,
It's
though.
actually a distressingly large amount of fight 6, isn't it? It's actually
Palace Guard, Galadrim, and Kingsguard.
even the minute
It's-
Ministrith is coming along with fight 5. Like it's just genuinely fight 5 is a new fight 3 at this rate.
I'm sitting so happy if I'm running around with fight 3 orcs with a shade.
Absolutely. Oh my god, the counter to the Kingsguard right there.
and no bows to fucking shoot me.
No, it's the ultimate list.
Yeah.
They've picked the meta perfectly.
Yeah.
Oliver's just not even bothering sitting behind troops anymore after the
No,
FK. He's just on the front rank.
Don't worry, he's fine.
He's heading straight to the hot zone.
The hot zone. Gillimer in the hot zone. Briefly talking about this list, just very briefly, I like it. I like the Last Alliance. I like Kingsguards. I like Elendil. I'm iffy on Gilgalad because he tends to die to stuff, but he's obviously very cool. I like this. It's got Riv Knights. Does anyone not like
I
it?
like
Everyone likes
the.
Last
I
Alliance.
mean, there's
More
very
bows.
few decisions being made
No.
in this, right? We've got 2 heroes and max bits. But
And the
I do
bows.
like that they've elected for more Kingsguard just with shield, knowing that the Numenor Rose are gonna have the shield and spear to back them up.
Kingsguards be in the
I
front line.
agree. I like it.
D6.
I enjoy a good Last Alliance list. It's always
Yep.
nice, and you can't help but hit theme just by existing. So it's cool. I like it. It's got enough punch there, as you say. We've got 2 decent heroes. We got some Kingsguard there. Like, it's cool. I like it.
It's cool. It's fun. We're enjoying it. We're proud of it. Just bows, people. Bows.
And he's just aggressively laughing at me as I've told him we're 100 points short.
If you're still going to win this, is the depressing thing.
Yeah.
And he said, "Where did you work it out?" And I said, "Live, doing a list review."
So good. All right, Numenor and Rivendell, another Last Alliance. This one has Mighty Gilgalad. He's got 6 spear shields, 1 warrior with a banner, 6 regular shields, 1 warrior with nothing, and 2 Riv Knights. Oh yeah. Also Elendil, with 7 warriors with shield and spear, 1 with a banner, and 6 regular shields, and then a Ridge Dice Bearer. 33 models, 6 might, 2 bows, 4 cav. George, is this you?
No, I wish I would have more than 2 bows.
I gotta say, but I'm
Yeah.
comparing it to the last one. I'm like, this feels inexplicably. Oh, it's second banner. That's what's done it in the Ridge Dice Bearer. Okay, yeah, sure. I was trying to pick why
Yeah.
the Elf
Six.
Warband was so much.
Yeah,
cheaper than the other one.
Ridge hasn't dropped it by that much, but the combination of Ridge and the banner,
Second banner. That's 65
that's where
points on
we're
there, isn't it?
missing
Yeah,
the
of course.
extra
However,
model. Yeah.
Ridge is infinitely better than that last list on its own. Have we considered just the power of a single warband drop on its own? Like,
That's a very
wow,
good, that's a very good thing.
Ridge is going to be
Points quite a lot for it.
35, isn't it? I can't remember what we made
It's
it.
40,
35.
isn't he, with his horse anyway. Maybe he's only 35 without. I don't know. Yeah, Gilgalad obviously. I just talked about him. The only thing is there's no Kingsguard here, and I'm not sure why. Get a Kingsguard. Drop that warrior with who's got no stuff, and just get like 4 King's Guards.
Yeah, I think half a dozen Kingsguard.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's no reason not to just have
If you
a
got
fair
Gilgalad,
few.
like you're most of the way there. Like the King's Guard are the best part of it, really.
I was interested to see how many people elected for like the double banner option. Obviously the point of doubles is like that 2 sort of standalone fighting forces, so it'd be interesting to see what they think of the double banner at the end of it. Like it's definitely going to come in handy, but like you said, the banner and ridges essentially the difference between the 2 lists here. Like, what's the total numbers for this?
33.
I mean, it's still decent for elves. 700, sorry, 800.
It's fine, but no King's Guard.
It's within Hui of what we've been seeing, so it's doing all right for
it's
numbers.
Not shamefully small, but just
no
5, 6.
It is the first double banner that we've seen, though, isn't it?
It is the first double banner. That is a good thing. You would like double banner. All right. Easterlings and Canned. This doesn't seem like a George and Jenny list to me.
Doesn't seem like a South Island list to me, but
it doesn't. We've got Rutabi leading 5 Black Dragon Pikes, 4 regular Eastling Pikes, 1 Eastling with a banner, and 5 Eastlings with shields. And then Brogier leading 5 regular Eastling Pikes, and then a Candish King on a chariot, leading a charioteer and 5 horsemen, and a Candish Chieftain on a chariot, leading a charioteer and 5 horsemen. It's 36 still somehow, with 8 might, 14 bows, and 14 horses.
Here's your bows, George.
This is great.
There they are. Who would have thought it didn't come from the relentless amount of elf lists and actually from a hard list?
This is great. I love
this.
That's
very, very good.
This is fabulous. 4 chariots.
I feel like if this gets the right sort of like ordering of the Easterlings, it's to be in the hot zone, if you will, at the start. And be that block which needs to defend itself, and then the chariots get to be the hard-hitting force that come behind. Not a lot is going to stop this.
This is great.
Controversially, if the chariots end up in the hot zone, they just mow over everything because you're right in front of you. Or if you can't mow over everything, you just leave. This is the fastest list we've seen. Their entire side is Kev.
If this is your list,
if they want to get somewhere, they can get somewhere.
There's no way Damien has 4
chariots. It is not my list.
And Easterlings, that's far too meta for Damien.
No, Who on earth has chariots?
We're about to find out, aren't we?
We are about to find out.
Welcome to the New Zealand media, to any international lister where we try to decipher who the single person in the country who has chariots is.
I know of 2, one of whom is going.
Well, I mean, I think we could rule it out then, maybe.
Interesting.
Okay. So away from speculating on who owns chariots, we've talked about the Kanda side of things. On the Eastling side of things, we've got that nice mix there. We've got some Black Dragons there for the higher fight. We've got a decent little pike block, and we got Brogier with a bunch of people to hang around and protect. But
rage. I mean,
5 Black Dragons going to be all you need. You can, as long as you're controlling where they are in that supporting line, you're controlling where that higher fight goes in the fights.
The fight 4.
I mean, yeah, there's no Dragon Emperor fight 5, but I mean,
the second lowest fight army we've seen so far. I think
they would have felt silly at fight 5 anyway with the amount of fight 6 going.
And look, with a shade, it's not like you can roll a 6 even with your 3 die. So it's fine.
So true. It might as well be a fight 4, really. Yeah. For all the good.
2 pretty strong heroes for the contest scenario as well.
Yeah.
Rutabi can definitely rack up some kills, and obviously Kandish King can. No, this is a cool list. I think this and the Rohan Loth, potentially the stronger one so far. Maybe one of the last night.
I think this is really cool.
Actually, no, the Angmar, all of them have been very strong.
I mean, I guess to be fair, they will be.
They can all
to someone who's
hold their own.
Down. If you're coming to this 100 points down,
I think that's why I'm.
Wow, he's also quite strong. I think that's got more points than me. Oh, this I like. This sparks joy.
This will be interesting to play against. I think you could have a horrible game. You could be run over by a whole bunch of chariots. But on the flip side, bring your protractors, people, because they can only turn a certain amount versus their move. So you know what? You can play around it. So I think this will be this should hopefully be a fun game, even if you're being mown down. You're gonna have fun because you're playing against, a dozen chariots, and it's just
Chariots are one of those profiles in my head where there's just a complete mind blank for me against like how to process them, how to deal with them. Like the second I see chariots, my brain just turns off. I'm like, I don't know how to even factor how these things work. Like the amount of times I've read the rule and I still just cannot comprehend like how impactful they're going to be or how to get around it. I don't know what it is, but there's certain profiles which just do it, and chariots are one of them for me.
I think I've only faced them twice in my career, and both times it's been using my D4 troops. And it's been a deeply unpleasant experience. So I think I've got a similar thing that I dramatically overestimate what they can do. But it's very, very different if you've got Iron Hills or something. But as a person who's run Corsairs and Clansmen into them, it has been just singularly unpleasant on both occasions. Right, let's go next one, because this is the one that I think is also very, very cool, which I've just switched to quickly before.
Spoilers.
George, I haven't heard you read this one out. Tell us this one.
We have Ugluk Scouts. So we got Ugluk with a full band, 12 Marauders. One has a banner, the rest have shields. We have Maher. I'm going Maher. Sure. 4 Marauders with shield, 4 Marauders with that absolutely bargain Uruk-hai bow. We got an Uruk-hai drum. Yep, we got Uruk-hai drummer, and then in list number 2, we've got the Orc components. We've got Grishnak with shield, 6 Orc warriors with shield, 5 Orc warriors with spear and shield, and 1 with a banner, spear and shield. We've got Snaga with 6 warriors with spear and shield, 6 warriors with bow and 2-handed weapon. Interesting. And then we've got an Orc captain with a shield, 7 Orc warriors with shield, and 3 Orc warriors with spear and shield.
64 little fellas.
64 models.
Holy shit.
14 bows?
14 bows.
It's close to double some of the lists we've seen in terms of numbers, right?
This is immense. The next highest was Minas Tirith with 41 so far. Like, this is huge.
And that Minas Tirith list was not packing 13 might.
That was not packing 13 might. This is huge.
Yeah. So special rules for this is they get +1 to wound in a combat they've got an Uruk-hai and an Orc. Is that correct?
Yep.
Which isn't super hard to do when you outnumber your opponent by 2 to 1.
Yeah. Far.
Again, another list which I hate to see shooting across the other side of the table, but it's just not going to. Like, this is just going to casually stroll across the table with a drum and break your face.
D5 lists that have, they're just begging for an elf shooting line to gun it down. And no one's brought it. These elf players should be kicking themselves,
Christchurch always has an Isengard crossbow list or a Corsairs crossbow or giant elven gun lines.
People love elves. Go elves everywhere. Yeah, elf shooting list everywhere.
As someone who bought Cirith Ungol last year and had a list with a similar breakdown, so Uruk on one side, Orcs on the other with that army bonus, I tell you what, when you get together and that army bonus starts kicking in, it's a glorious, glorious moment. It's just fun. Obviously, the theme of splitting it into the Orc and Uruk component, you're playing in the theme. Let's face it, to optimize the rules, you'd mix the Orcs and Uruks in your army, and they haven't. They played the theme, and I love it. I love what they're doing.
100%.
We've got a double banner in there. 64 freaking models.
Why not at that point?
Definitely.
Even when I was throwing around Goblin Town list, I was only coming in at 80. So this is big numbers.
Jesus. I enjoy the Orc warriors with bow and 2-handed weapons, though someone's decided I want this model to be shit at shooting and shit in combat as well. I want this model to do nothing of any value at any point in time in the game.
If I'm going to get -1 against a shade, I may as well get -2 and hope I win. Is the shade wording friendly Angmar models? Like if it came up against in an Angmar mirror, how does that work?
It's a great question. Post errata.
Yeah, but the errata.
Because it used to just be friendly models, and then they put the extra stuff on it.
They must have said friendly Angmar.
Please hold the line.
They wouldn't have taken the word friendly out, would they?
I hope so.
That would make
it must say friendly Angmar.
Models, yeah.
Look.
irrelevant to the list we're discussing,
No,
but
exactly.
food for thought.
This is very, very cool. This is very cool. I usually hate regular Orc Warriors, but I just think like this many numbers done like this, that's cool.
That's very cool list.
That's very cool.
And
the errata is friendly Angmar. So
Friendly Angmar.
Friendly
Yeah,
Angmar.
that makes sense.
Yep.
Snaga rule, anyone?
If a heroic move is called, he can
that's
choose
right.
to not be part of it if he's in range, and still move later and do his own thing.
How quickly Damien responded to that makes me think he's read this rule recently, and this could be his list.
I specifically asked him, and he denied it. He denied it to me.
And I continue to deny it because it is not my list.
You wouldn't do Cirith Ungol last year and this year. It's the same thing.
But again, yeah. Look, we looked at this as an option because we'd done Cirith Ungol last year, and we're like, what can we do that doesn't have a giant spider?
Thing.
Yeah.
I just reckon it's fishy someone who knows Snaga's rule off by heart that quickly. I don't know if I trust that.
Yeah. All right. What's next? We have.
Quick, Grishnak's rule.
Oh, that's the if you're fighting two people, isn't it?
That's Gorbag. I don't know what Grishnak's is. It Backstabber?
Backstabbers? He's Backstabbers then, yeah.
And no special rule, maybe?
I think Backstabber's no special rule. He's got Strike from Fight 4, I think. Is that?
I think that rings a bell. I think he's Backstabber Strike.
Yeah. Anyway, the next list we have
you might actually be able to use Backstabber with that many people.
is speaking of numbers, holy hell. This is Erebor and Iron Hills. We've got Thror with 5 Guardians of the King, 5 Warriors with Shield, and Thrain with 6 Warriors with Shield. And then we've got Dane on his boar, leading 12 Iron Hills Dwarves with Shield and Spear, 1 with a Shield and Banner, and then 3 Goat Riders with War Spears. For 35? 35 somehow. Dwarfs. 9 might, 5 throwing axes, and 4 little piggins. Wowee.
It's a tough nut to crack there, isn't it?
Very cool. That is.
It's one of those lists where you just struggle to spot the weak spot, right? It's just a big.
I mean, once again, almost no shooting, but this list doesn't really care about being shot back at, and it's not going to be anyway.
What's Guardian of the King rule? What is the upgrade that you get?
The +1 strength.
4.
Yeah.
Oh, strength. Okay. Yep.
So impressive until you realise the entire Iron Hills army already has that. But
is that no spears on the Warriors of Erebor, or are they default to the profile?
No, there are no spears on those. But the Iron Hills have all got shield and spear, so I guess you're right. Probably would have liked to have split that up a little bit differently. But
is there a model for a Warrior of Erebor with spear?
Yeah.
With just shield?
I've got. Yeah, there's both. I've got 10 of each or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They exist.
No, it's a very, very strong list. These 3 heroes, to me, all sort of want to achieve the same thing, though, of they need to be cutting through troops to get their points back. So I'm really interested in how they sort of allocate their might usage a little bit. There's no obvious person to be calling heroic moves here, or there's no sort of obvious disposable might that you've got at your hands.
Dane Ironfoot with his Master of Battle.
Does he get it allied with? Are they green?
That's a good question. They must be. Back in the old days. Don't know either. My phone's dead. Oh well, let's assume they do. Otherwise you would.
If they do, then that solves a lot. But otherwise, it is 3 heroes that want to be using their might to kill things to get their points back. But like you said at the start, it's a very, very tough nut
it's interesting
to crack.
Calling them wanting to kill troops. So I feel like if I look at Dane and Thrain, I think that's going to machine gun almost any hero they come into contact with.
I think your opponent's doing something wrong if you're getting Thrain and Dane stuck into them that easily against this many troops, right?
That's true.
It doesn't have any tricks to pull heroes out of place, or
Erebor Reclaimed is what have we got? Erebor Reclaimed
this is
Iron Hill.
This is Army of Thror, not Erebor Reclaimed.
Army of Thror.
Yeah.
Oh, the words are tricking me. Army of Thror and Iron Hills.
Suspense.
Yeah, they're green. The Green Alliance.
Yes.
Well played. My point is moot. I have nothing more to say.
I think this is great fun. I think there's one thing missing in my life. It's an army of Iron Hills Dwarves. That's all I've got to say. I'm treating this a little therapy session. There's one thing that I'm sad about. There's one thing that I'll wake at night thinking about. Iron Hills Dwarves.
I guess I like this. Oh, no, there is a banner. You've got
Thor's
Thor's a banner.
Yeah, and there's an actual banner.
A lot of teams electing for like essentially a double banner effect, right? It's been very, very prominent across a lot of lists.
I feel like what we had that one in the
Like Scouts had one.
Scouts had a second one. That last
there's a Rivendell and Numenor one. Yeah.
Both the Eastlings and Cairn had a banner effect.
So the early ones didn't, but it has been showing up a bit on the more recent ones. Yep.
All right, this is great. We love this. Again, where is the shooting? What's happened? Like, give them some crossbows for pity's sake.
The meta moved on without us.
You know?
Yep. There's the biggest shift in the meta I think I've ever seen from New Zealand, from people who take shooting in copious amounts every single tournament to
where is it?
Everyone's put it aside for a tournament, and that one Galavar player is just licking their lips.
They have lucked into an insane. I mean, it's ridiculous what they've got away with. This Galavar player. We've seen what? We've seen one blinding light so far, I think, as well. Like, people are just this. It would have been free.
Who needs it?
It would have been a gimme. But people are just taking it. Far out. Next Christchurch event, the person who brings an all shooting list is just everyone's gonna be freaking out. People aren't gonna know how to deal with it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's time for my Rangers of Mirkwood to shine.
My 700 points Rangers of Mirkwood is gonna still.
Yeah. All right. We've got here we are. Next up, we've got Fellowship and Rivendell. The Fellowship is Strider with a horse. An armor, Boromir with a horse and a shield, and Legolas with a horse and armor. Bang, done, easy, sorted. And then we've got Aristor on the elf side, leading 6 warriors with shield, 5 with shield spear, and 1 with shield spear banner. And then Gildor and Glorion, fucking wood elves, leading 6 Noldor exiles with bow, throwing dagger, and spear, and 1 with a regular spear, wood elf spear. Sorry. 24 models, 15 asterisk might, 7 bows, 2 throwing weapons. And 3 cav.
Yep. It looks shit, but I think it's really good.
No, you're right the first time. Wood elves. There's wood elves in this list. I told you no wood elves.
Sam, I think it might be good. I mean, is this your list?
No.
I genuinely think
it's clearly not your list because it's got 800 points, right?
It's gonna be so painfully apparent when it comes up.
Okay, so we got some wood elves, and wood elves, defense 3. Yeah, and Sam, dislikes them.
Why? Sorry, wood elves, but you've made them fast. But you don't use them in combat or move them anywhere. So I mean, it's a contradiction. Well,
not move them in combat. You're going to have to move them because your other force is only 3 models.
How else are you going to get to the hot zone, Sam?
But that's my point. That you don't want to move them because they're only D3. You don't want them in the hot zone. You want them well away from the hot zone.
Yeah, but now they can move 4.5 inches and shoot away from the hot zone.
4 inches.
Or 4 inches, whatever.
Yep.
Or just move the full 8 and throw their daggers. Because they've got both. That's another. Why both? Give them one throwing weapon, one range weapon.
I genuinely think it might be really good.
I mean, again, people, you got to remember George is comparing this to his own army, which is 100 points down. So in that context, you get out of the lot.
Okay, so I'd be concerned in those scenarios where you are split up about getting places. That's my concern there. And someone
We've got a free marching Strider.
Yes, but is he going to get there in time? Admittedly, he's on a horse, but
they're all moving 15 inches to regroup pretty quickly.
Are there going to be any wood elves left alive at that point?
Okay, yeah. If you get unlucky and your wood elves are the ones deployed in the middle, you're in a bit of a struggle. But I mean, Legolas seems very good into some of the lists we've seen. There's a lot of Gilgalads.
It's shooting. It's got almost more bows than anyone else. Like that alone. Hey, problem solved.
It's good into
you can't shoot if you're in the hot zone.
Is it good to Elendil? It's the hot zone. Is it good?
I feel like a dismounted Lendl is far less scary than a
That's
mounted
entirely true.
Lendl.
That's entirely true. That's entirely true. But I mean,
And when you've got 15 might, you don't care about using Lewis's might to take off those horses,
Yeah, sure. Look, I mean, it kills horses on heroes. I can't deny that. I can't dispute that. That is a true statement of fact. I mean,
It's
the
like,
same thing is achieved by a 100-point Legolas drop. You don't need the other 700 points to the army in that case.
There's a bunch of elves without a lot of support there. I think I've been looking at it, trying to figure out what's not landing right with me, and I think I probably would have gone heavier with the spears on the high elf side. Is probably what I would have done.
So hold on,
because you've got a massive bodies there.
There's only 6 guys without spears. There's
Yes.
2/3 spears.
But I don't know. For me, you're not orcs, mate.
I think
Like,
I would like to have seen Gildor and those Noldor and Exiles replaced with something else and some regular troops. This is a list that is screaming out for a Círdan and some other people. Like this.
I don't think it needs Círdan at this rate. There's no blinding light.
That's true. That's true. In a vacuum, that's actually really true. If I hadn't known the other lists, I would have said it was screaming out for a Círdan. But that's a really good point.
This person's read the meta like Gulliver player and just taking the niche Gildor pick.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll move on to the next one. And actually, before I do that,
I'm interested. I'm really interested to see how it goes. Like, I genuinely think it's probably actually relatively solid. I think if you can figure out in the scenario where that weakness is, I think that weakness is fully exploitable. It's going to come down to deployment and scenario. And if you crack that weakness, it's going to be painful. But provided that you know what you're doing with deployment and with those initial moves.
I mean, I guess.
I reckon my 700 point list is going to struggle to take this down.
Your 700 point list is.
Pardon me, sorry, Bob. Right. Can I, before we go any further to the next ones, I just want to say that turns out we've got people here in the chat who are actually with us right now. I've just received a private message from a friend of mine who's complaining about the fact that I've ignored his last several messages, and I want to apologise to you for that. I hadn't scrolled down the chat past the initial bot spam. And now I have seen your comments, and I want to say thank you for responding to our questions several minutes faster than we did. All spears equals unflankable. That's true. You could just sort of do like a porcupine formation and never move anywhere or kill anything, but at least people can't get behind you.
You can move with a spear. It's not a bow.
Look.
No one's got bows in this tournament, apparently. We all leave them at home. I agree. All spears is unflankable. More spears. Throw more spears in there.
The Wood Elves can shield with spears as well, though, right?
They can do that, and they need to because they are defense 3. Anyway, I'm not doing more on this.
I reckon this is going to do better than Sam.
There's nothing else I can say without starting to get mean and catty about this, so I'm just going to move on. We're going
sound like you, Sam.
That's not.
The conversation is over. Okay.
Rohan, I have the button. I have the mover on a button. Like I often do with Eddie and George, I'm doing it to myself now. I'm just forcibly moving on. Rohan Pony Club is the next list. Can somebody explain this to us?
A pony is a small horse, Sam.
All right, okay.
Sam, I think you could probably tell us about a pony club.
Can I? I would love to delve into the meaning of that comment, George, here in front of the people. If you try and convince them of that, I'm just going to read it out because people aren't taking the hint here. Theoden. This is Riders of Theoden. Like I don't think anyone has ever seen it before. It has Theoden with Swift Snowmane, heavy armor and a shield. He's got 5 Royal Guard with horse and throwing spear, and 5 Riders of Rohan. Then we have Durnhelm with 5 Riders of Rohan. Then we have Aemir with a horse and shield, leading 8 Riders of Rohan and a Royal Guard on horse. Then we have Daelwyn with a horse, leading 5 Riders of Rohan and 1 Royal Guard with a horse and a banner. For a total of 34 models in this Riders of Theoden list. 12 might, 23 bows, there they are, and 34 cavalry. What's going on here?
There's more models than most of the other lists.
Got more bows than most of the lists have models.
This has got more bows than most of the lists have. I mean, this is vast and all mounted and completely oversupplied with bows to the nth degree. This is not riders like you've seen it before.
This seems like a really good recipe for beating those other lists with no bows.
This person has read the meta flawlessly.
Absolutely. That along with the Angmar player, they're like, yeah, okay, this is my moment to shine. This is good.
23 bows.
So I guess there's like a few talking points. Like you mentioned, Sam, it is very different Rise of Theoden to what we're used to, but the whole like skirmish style of riders and sort of more numbers is definitely making a resurgence compared to the like heavy Royal Guard variant. I quite like that they kept all the riders cheap as well. There isn't throwing spears galore. They've just gone for let's get as many numbers in here as possible. I've got bows. I guess a big talking point is Royal Guard with horse and banner and not Mr. Gambling himself.
Yes,
thoughts, feelings?
That's big. They've saved what 75 odd points.
They've saved the day one, essentially. I think.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah.
I mean,
which when you put it that way is pretty
big,
deal.
Pretty substantial. Yeah. And when you're not going for that style, I guess you're not getting as much value out of it. You haven't got a whole army of heroes to cover. You haven't got the might to. It's not quite the same. I can kind of see it, I guess.
And you're already starting with 12 might, so it's not like you're a low might list. You've got utility, it's limited, but 12 might at 800 points.
And if you're only bringing 4 heroes, you really can't afford to have one of them be gambling, just sitting around twiddling his thumbs. Every one of these, they've picked 4 punchy heroes because you have to.
Me and Denny took Rise of Theoden once to a doubles tournament, and I actually found it, and this was the sort of hero variant, and actually found it very hard to play because it's such a list that almost requires one person to be quarterbacking with a game plan, right? Like, you need to have a game plan for each individual model.
Yeah.
And the second there's 2 people sort of coming in with different thoughts of where you put gambling, where you put this model, it gets very, very hard. Whereas I think the skirmish style is actually going to be a lot better suited to.
That's true. And you haven't got that same sense of every part needing to flawlessly to do the right thing in the right place at the right time. This can play separate if it needs to. Whereas hero variant,
exactly.
3 heroes is not enough to win a charge. You need the 6.
2 big heroes for the contest as well. Again, we see Aemir and Theoden's no slouch in that scenario as well. If he can stay on his horse, he's going to rack up some kills.
Yeah.
I do like that the Royal Guard are in Theoden's band as well, just so you can guarantee that they're going to get that army bonus within the 12 inches.
Yeah, the big fight. Yeah, I think this is cool. I am a big fan of horse archers. I'm a big fan of the skirmish style of play. I think this is a fun variant to see. Very pleased to see that I get to give them that fight bonus as well, having just played a Riders of Aemir list recently where it's just depressing that they have to stay at fight 3 the whole game. So at least these guys go to fight 4 on the charge. You love to see it.
You get that one glorious turn, Sam.
That's true, and it's got to count. Doesn't work against the Shade though.
Fight 4 is going to be completely irrelevant to fight 6 anyway, but
that's true.
But if you're in that situation, like you're playing the shoot game, right? Not like the elves have got a bunch of bows shooting you back.
I mean,
all of the elf lists are running lower on bows.
The other thing is, like, as much as this list has a lot of bows, it actually does even better when it's not getting shot back in the slightest, right? Like,
oh hell yeah.
If you come up against 10 bows with this, you're like, they become really annoying to deal with because of how you have to position your bases, get all your shots off and stuff. If you're missing no bows, you can completely control it. Yeah,
doing whatever you want. Yeah, totally true. Someone's just inquired whether someone's suggesting Denny took this to a doubles event last year, but I think that must have been the regular Riders of Theoden. They had, the hero heavy one, wasn't it, that we're talking about? Yeah.
No, last year me and Denny took 5 Fell Beasts to side by side. To Wanganui doubles, we took Rise of Theoden, but as I mentioned, it was the hero heavy variant, and that's where we struggled with the quarterbacking side of it.
Run this kind of one, have you? I don't think.
No.
Cool, interesting, spicy, fun. Again, I might be more suspicious of it in a regular event, but having seen what they're facing, this one's hit it on the head.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a pretty powerful list. you can every turn you get to choose: am I charging or am I shooting? And you can just decide based on the turn what is the optimal thing to do. This is pretty good for control and pretty good in terms of able to react as well.
Yeah. You've got away with
Also, if we talk about like lists that want to pair up quick, it can pair up on demand pretty much.
All right. Next up, we have. Okay. We have an Erebor reclaimed list.
How's your grinning going there, George?
Sorry, what's that, George? What's that?
Looks a bit light on points, doesn't it?
Yes.
I would have thought you'd get more
like
than 30 models
I
at
feel
800
like I've seen
points.
a Dane Ironfoot warband before that looked decidedly chunkier. And what's this Bifur? Now, I was on Trade Me not that long ago, and I found a fella selling most of the dwarves, but there was no Bifur. And I wonder if that has any connection to this Bifur here that's arrived. Anyway, Erebor reclaimed. Thorin on a goat, leading 6 dwarfs with spear and 4 regular Iron Hills dwarfs. And then Bifur, leading 4 Iron Hills dwarfs. And Dane Ironfoot with a warboar, leading a goat rider, 8 spears, 1 banner, and 3 crossbows. For a total of 30 models, 8 might, and 3 bows.
And 700 points.
I didn't spot it the first time around, but then having just looked
but
at
now looking at it,
the army of Thror, and then comparing it to this, there is a very noticeable
your extra
change.
100 points where your bows went?
It's also got no bows. Where's his bows? You can have 10 crossbows.
It stands out like a sore thumb.
A pair of dog's balls.
The crossbows, I actually spent a lot of time trying to get crossbows in the list, and it just does not work. The clunkiness of like all your models essentially costing 10 points that bring an extra 2 point like increment in just means you're losing models. So often you end up 6 point shorts, and when you're doing 350 points, you end up with 344 point list, and you're like, I can't make use of these 6 points or things like that. They were very, very clunky to get in there. Otherwise, I would have loved some more crossbows.
50 point list.
Okay, let me tell you how this has come about.
It's never been.
Let me tell you how this has come about. So this year, me and Denny are making the big grand journey over to Articon, and we're going to play in the big doubles tournament over there. And that, funny enough, is 700 points to 350 point list. I think I'm probably going to go double check after this. But so we've been spending a long time building lists for 700 points, and at some point just completely forgot that this, or never even checked that this was 700 points. You're not wrong, Sam. It's always been 800 points. Every other year we've built 800 points. I don't know. I think we're just too focused on that we completely... Actually, Denny left me alone. He's in Japan currently, living it up, and completely left me on my own to build a list, and this is what you get.
This is George. We've got pure unvarnished George for you here, folks. And I don't think it's that good. Even for 700, frankly. But okay.
Weirdly enough, the Dane Warman I feel is clunky. I don't think Dane's actually that great at 700 points or in this list, but ironically, it's worked out because there has been a shit ton of Kirdans, Angmars, Thranduils. Like the Fearless Bubble is actually going to be really, really good.
That's true.
Bifur is a model I think is criminally underused. I think he's absolutely insanely good. And Thorin free heroic combat's like the idea is if Thorin gets free heroic combat and Bifur gets his free heroic moves going, you've got 2 free heroics a turn. It's pretty strong. And it frees up Dane to use his might to do actual killing. Its big issue is it's 100 points short and it only has 30 models. I will concede that. There is a small issue there.
The weakness on my list is 100 points short.
That's on top of all the weaknesses of a straight dwarf list.
What do you got in terms of Cav? So you got
a goat rider and a couple of heroes
things in a goat rider. So okay, so your dwarves on foot. You're a tough nut to crack. You've got some free heroic moves. You've got some free heroic combat, but you're short and you got short legs, and that slows you down. Okay.
The good news is the TO message saying you can't add any heroes, but you're allowed to fill out some more bands with some more dwarfs without crossbows.
The classic George. Look at the lists and then change your one.
Because that's what we do, is just add more dwarfs without crossbows.
Justice.
I don't think we're going to let you do that at Articon. Just be like, can I change my list now that you've seen everyone?
Here's our 500-point list.
I'm not even doing list submissions and list reviews anymore. If people are like this, this is corrupt. I'm moving on from this one.
I agree with the Dane though. Fearless with Dane is I've come up against it a number of times over the last few years, and it is absolutely a lifesaver at times. All of those tricks that people are looking to deal with Terra, you just shut them down if you're in proximity of Dane. I think he's a solid profile.
Like I said, I actually think he's somewhat garbage in this list outside of that, just because he doesn't get the Master of Battle.
Yeah, it's true.
It's going to take a lot for that profile to make his points back, just being 160 whatever points he is, just being a 3-3-3 hero. However, he gets to bring a whole bunch more dwarves. Doubles is always quite hard to build, where one list tends to just take one very big hero and a max warband. And that's kind of where we ended up with this one. Plus, we just want to use Dane because he's the cool model.
He's a cool model. I mean, the other option was what, two Iron Hills captains or something,
like Dwalin and Ori or something like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Would arguably be a lot better, but
Dwalin,
Dane's fun.
And when you think about this will look a lot better if it is suddenly at 38, 39 models with 8 or 9 more dwarfs in the warbands. That will suddenly look pretty gnarly. So, yeah, fair play. Right, next one. Here we go. Now we're cooking. Thranduil's Halls and Lake Town. Legolas, 7 Mirkwood Rangers. Toriel, 8 Mirkwood Rangers. And then we've got Bard on horse with armor. Sigrid and Tilda. And Alfred. And then 5 Lake Town Militia with bow. 5 Lake Town with shield. 5 Lake Town with spear. And then Hilda Bianca with 3 with bow, 3 with shield, and 1 with spear. For a total of 44 models. 10 might. 25 bows, there you are, and a couple of cav.
There we go.
There's your shooting.
They're elf bows too. They're elf bows.
There's your shooting. Wow.
Is that 25 plus Legolas as well?
Yeah, so it's 18, 19 elf bow shots a turn, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very, very good listen to what's coming. There's a real chance this can just annihilate Gulliver in a turn, right?
It will. It will.
You learn a cave drill.
Yeah, if he's not behind a building at all times, he is dead. Yeah.
Yep. On the flip side, having played Mirkwood Rangers before, once the lines meet, they will disintegrate.
Don't worry. Don't worry, they're backed up by the Lake Town Militia.
You do not want, and here, I guess, here's my thing here. If we're talking separate drops and we're talking, people on the hot zone.
We're talking hot zones.
You don't want either of these forces in the hot zone.
No, you do not.
The force that's needing to start in the middle up against the enemy, they're having a bad time.
I'm confused as to why you were such a staunch defender of the Wood Elf Warrior in the hot zone, Damien, but the Mirkwood Ranger all of a sudden is...
They've got 2 attacks, Damien. They're fine in the hot zone.
They have they have died on me many times.
That's what they do. It's about all they do.
Does Toriel have Mart? Because I know Legolas does not.
I don't think she does, no.
Yeah, so you're flogging it.
Does that list need a march anywhere though? I think you're doing something wrong if you're marching your Mirkwood Ranger somewhere.
It depends on how good Bard is going in the hot zone. Now Bard, because this is Green Alliance, right? So Bard's banner effect affects your board and the board next to you.
Yeah.
So
you've got heroic combat.
Yeah.
6 might probably.
Yep. Plus what Sigrid and Tilda buff is. What's that? Is that the heroic combats? Is it?
Yep.
No physical banner. I can't remember. Are there banner VPs in double scenarios?
Is one scenario with banner VPs. I think it's only 1 point.
Surely you want 25 bows.
Legolas will deal with it.
Yeah. There's not much chance of a banner getting away from you.
It's also
Is
can
there?
be quite tricky to defend the girls if you're only 400 points in the hot zone, you know? Like, that all of a sudden becomes quite a big issue as well.
You've got a lot of
playing
people
defense.
around, though, in the hot zone with you, you know? Like, if it's a 44 model army, you've got 26 odd.
And that, I think,
in
is
hot
where one of the flaws of this
27.
comes in, because if you've got 44, 22 people hanging out in the hot zone, what are your elves shooting at? Because they can't shoot through any friendly combat.
That's so true, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that is potentially a problem for them,
Yeah,
is
there's
that
something to that.
your ability to shoot would be limited.
Damien, I may have only taken 700 points, but are you actually coming to this tournament? I don't feel like we've seen your list yet.
I can confirm you have seen my list.
Oh, what was it?
What? Go on.
Come on.
It was Snagger. He was too quick to respond.
I will tell you at the end. We have one more list after this,
right, okay,
and then we can play the guessing game.
Right. This is very strong. This is very powerful. We like this one. Last list. Racing ahead so we can see Damien's one.
You're just racing to see mine. Can we go back?
And we're done. Thank you guys for coming.
No, we're not. Okay. Last thoughts on that previous list.
Sorry.
I love the Mirkwood Ranger models. I think they're cool. I have a bunch of them. Shit, they will die. I've just made the stream R18, or can we get away with one?
I think I've done several already, so you're
safe. I think this is...
I have been on the receiving end of Bard with that banner effect, and oh my god, it can just be so tough to break through if you get your dice going there. Bearing in mind this is a large force than we've seen against a bunch of stuff. So there's a bunch of people there if you're rolling 2 dice in each of those fights, because you've got the spear in there and you've got a banner effect 12 inches from Bard. This is good. Like, you can hold off until those Mirkwood Rangers that can't shoot anything actually arrive to die. So I think it'll be fun. I don't know if it is super tough. I think there's some weaknesses there that people could exploit, but I like it.
Yeah, agree on all counts.
I'm fairly certain as well this is the TO list as well.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think TO's just going to have a lot of fun playing Legolas and 15 Mirkwood Rangers.
A lot of fun playing this, absolutely right. Yeah. Clearly he's written it after the list was submitted as well. He's seen what's the perfect counter to everything. Mirkwood Rangers, baby.
No one's taking any bows. Yeah.
All right, last one. Rivendell. This is Rivendell. Pure elves, which is cool to see. Glorf with all his kit, leading 6 warriors with shield and spear and 2 with shield. Mighty Curtain. I know, again, 2 warriors with shield and spear, and 4 with shield and spear and 2 with shield. And then the other half is Gilgalad with horse and shield, 2 warriors, spear and shield, 3 with shield, 3 Rivendell Knights, 5 Kingsguard with spear and shield, and 1 Kingsguard with spear, shield, and banner. 31 models, 7 might, 3 bows, 5 cavalry. And where are the bows? Where are the bows? Why are people going elves, no shooting?
It's like there was some sort of like gentleman's agreement amongst all the elves where I had to just not take... We'll all take Curtain, but we won't take bows.
Well, even though, there's the danger here, though. The issue is you brought Curtain, but you've only got 3 bows, and they're on River Knights. So if I'm coming into if I'm a regular shooting list with, say, 12, 13 bows, I'm just going to shoot you anyway. Like, I'm just going to I'm just going to shoot through it, and, you know, like, it's not, you've got to have blinding light and also some bows to shoot back to people who come to you. This can't, even with blinding light, it can't outshoot anything, and so you can't do the control the engagement thing. Am I crazy? Is that fair?
No, you're far from crazy. It's been the proven theory of Curtain for years and years and years, and for some reason we've deviated from that.
You've got to shoot out of the bubble to bring people to you. Otherwise, you're just a bubble standing there doing nothing, and no one's going to come and fight you in the bubble.
The hot zone.
The hot zone.
Yeah.
The hot zone. The hot zone.
Yeah.
Riv Knights is great. Kingsguard we like to see. The number's quite low. It feels quite low. This is another 351. It does feel suspiciously low in numbers.
I think it's the 3 Riv Knight plus banner. That occupies a lot of points. 3 heroes compared to the sort of last night's 2 heroes.
Yeah,
it's not Curtain in there.
Cool.
Orphandale is a decent amount as well.
Almost as much as Elendil. I think actually he's only 15 less than Elendil.
No, surely not. Really?
Elendil's, I think, 185. I know Gilgalad's 185 Law's kit.
I feel like Elendil's more.
I think Elendil goes to is 185 without his horse. I think
Yeah,
195.
maybe.
But even then, it's not much more than Glorfindel.
Yeah, but I mean, you also get the Círdan, right? Like,
yeah,
it's very hard to fit Círdan with Gilgalad.
That's not exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you made a decision to take Círdan, in 3 bows.
I'd like to see Glorfindel turned into a restore or something, or like I don't know. I can't. Maybe can't with Gilgalad, but maybe even just like a captain with heaps more troops.
What I do like though is in that contest scenario, you all of a sudden got Glorfindel and Gilgalad, but Glorfindel obviously does sometimes have issues just bouncing off high immense troops. But I mean, we've only seen 2, maybe 3 D7 lists. There's a few found in court. There's a couple of dwarf lists, and that's about it. The rest of it, he should have a pretty fine time actually mowing through troops. Yeah.
Is it crazy for me to say that I'd rather see Elrond and Gilgalad than Glorfindel and Gilgalad? Because I feel like with Glorfindel and Gilgalad, every spell in the known universe goes to Gilly. If you've got Elrond, at least there's kind of a sense of maybe a possibility to spread out some of the casting and stuff.
I mean, Círdan just needs an Enchanted Blades, Glorfindel, and then that solves his killing issues as well. Like, what's Elrond bringing that Glorfindel isn't here?
A couple of cool spells. He's a little bit tougher, maybe.
Yeah, the Armor of Gondolin's good. Asphalot's really good. Fortify Spirit's phenomenal. I mean,
yeah, but it just sort of shows up all Gilgalad's weaknesses then, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You're not wrong that. Yeah.
Then that allows you, if you know that that's going to happen, like Glorfindel becomes your threat, right? If you know that all of the magic, and let's face it, there's not a lot. We haven't seen a lot.
That's actually true. We've seen, I think,
and we can talk in general about the magic liability.
No, we've seen about 7 Círdans.
Yeah, but not in terms of actual aggressive casting. That
in terms of what this list is going to come up against.
Yeah, that's so true. Actually, yeah, good point.
They're actually, they're not in a bad
position.
What does
Gilgalad hate to see? He hates to see shooting and he hates to see magic. Well, no wonder we've got 4 or 5 Gilgalads this event. This is the place to bring them to.
Yeah. It's genuinely insane. How have we only got 1 Witch King and no shooting?
1 aggressive caster and like an average of 3 bows per list or something. This is
arguably the 2 best things in the game: shooting and magic. How many what?
How many evil lists do we have? So we've got Angmar, we got the Ugluk Scout.
You'd know all about that Ugluk Scout, wouldn't you?
Eastlings and Cans.
A lot of things. Oh, we got the Easterling Cans.
3 out of our 14.
Oh, okay. Everyone has gone heavy into the good not shooting meta.
That old meta.
It's kind of like 2019. It's sort of pop. It's just sort of dropped into.
Is there something about the double scenarios? Is there something about the double scenarios which lends itself to this big troop bubble lists?
I think
you've got to survive in the hot zone.
It's all about hot zone theory. It's all about the hot zone meta, We've got a punter here in the chat that's actually that's pleased there's no shooting because there was too much last year, which suggests to me they may have come up against.
I 100% agree.
Have had the Damien experience and come up against.
Some horrible shooting list on a real open table.
I'm not sure who you are, Unjointed Goose. If you're Andrew Hannigan, this explains a lot. If you're one of my other opponents from last year, again it explains a lot. I apologise for the Corsair Serpent Horde madness. But I think we can find there's a middle ground between that and this, I
think just as crazy as the 1 Witch King, 1 offensive caster.
It's nutty.
The field is very different from last year. When we were making our list, we went back through my tournament report from last year and ran some hypotheticals on if we come up against these matchups again, how would we go? And those matchups are basically not here this time. Yeah, the meta has absolutely moved to something else.
Okay, Damien, what is your list? Put us out of our misery.
I am the Shade player.
No.
Yes.
You are the one.
Yes.
Oh my god. This is why.
You're the
you
meta
knew the
reader.
cave troll. You see the Angmar cave troll thing. There
Yes.
we
You were like
go.
the chosen one in June.
Oh my
Ah.
god. And you brought that shitty Witch King. With an armored horse. An armored horse and a Morgul blade? A Morgul
Bought
blade?
an armored horse
I
because
played
last year
literally 25
every army
competitive
had
games of Black Riders last year.
million
I
shooting.
never ever used a Morgul blade. Not once. I had it every game. Never used it.
O-
Pointless.
Okay, counterpoint.
Pointless.
I killed a great beast with a Morgul blade, and that's the best use of points that I ever had.
I mean, kill it with, you can kill it basically with anything, you know. I
Touche,
can't believe
Damien.
that.
You have read the meta to.
You have.
I don't know.
This list is
Yeah,
gonna.
this
You're
is
gonna.
just.
Damien's gonna win an event.
Hey!
Oh,
Don't get me
Hannibal's
wrong.
gonna win an
That'd be
event.
awesome.
Oh my god.
That'd be awesome. But you
What's
must remember
happening?
that the list is not the players.
Damien, do you want to swap lists?
Well, see, the thing is, I have this problem in that I can't roll sixes. So I figured if I can't roll sixes,
Make it
I
so no
won't
one
let
can.
anyone else roll sixes.
I should have seen it. The two-handed weapons. You know.
It's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, it's a dead giveaway. No one does that.
I'm still fishy about him for knowing Snarga's rule
Not
that
with a
quick.
shade as well. I'm bringing a shade. You're -1, but I'd like to give away my advantage and go to -1 myself. Imagine running a shade and also two-handing like this. What is the point?
What's the?
It's
He
not
was
a
also
swap
quick to
option.
highlight the cave troll not
He
having
was
the
very
Angmar
quick to highlight,
keyword.
That's what. Yeah.
Run us through the cave troll logic
Yeah.
here.
Why no Birdo? Why the cave troll?
Because the cave troll.
Points are a thing.
Yeah, look,
That's not a point.
this list went through a number of iterations, and that includes moving stuff between the two forces as well. And we honestly thought one of the last decisions before we locked it in is we said, are we happy being one of the smaller armies at this event at 31 models? And it turns out we're pretty average actually. And again, this is this massive move from last year. Last year we were hovering, most were hovering around the 40 mark. So there's been a little bit of a drop this year in number of models. So I'm happy that we're going in with 31 and we're not going to be grossly outnumbered by almost everything.
Put my hand up here. You've gone into last year and been like, we got shot off the table, and your decision in response to that was to take a 30-man Angmar list with Gulliver.
Yes. Genius. Genius.
I don't know what to think of it.
I can't remember when I last.
He's read the meta, but somehow
this is. I thought, wouldn't we universally agree as a community, sort of spontaneously, that this was not a thing we were going to be doing anymore? Thank you very much. The shade was persona non grata, and yet just a nice fella.
Right, Sam, I think you're in dicey territory there if you're talking about those sort of things.
I've stopped. I haven't touched them this year. I've thought about it. I've dreamt about it, but I haven't done it.
That's the thing. Like, if you're addicted, you've never really quit, have you? Every day you got to wake up and make that decision that you quit.
It is. It's a sickness. Yeah, it's a sickness.
I guess to wrap up, do we all want to list off what our favourite list is? I can start because there's one that stands out for me. I think this is going to come out as no surprise as Grimbold's #1 fan, but I think the Rohan Lothlorien list is very good. It's very, very well balanced between two big heroes. The Sentinel's clutch, the amount of Fight 6 is clutch. Aemir, Durnhelm, Grimbold are all big heroes of Rohan. It's got a heap of might. Rumor's going to do marvelous things in certain scenarios. I like it.
It
needs more bows.
I'm going to go for the Ugluk Scouts, which does have more bows. They're Orc bows and a couple of Uruk-hai bows. But I like it. It's playing in theme. We got the Uruks on one side, we got the Orcs on the other. When you come together, you just have this joyous, amazing +1. There's also the scenario and the actual contest of champion hero things, where your two leaders and your fourth get that innate ability if one is ahead anyway. So, like, it's real cool. You can play them off against each other. I love the theme. I love the fact that it's coming in at 64 models. I think it's cool.
Fair play. I think this one's a strong contender. I don't like the Easterling part, but I like the Can part very much. But I think genuinely, Damien, I have to say that yours is my favourite one. This has got a lot of cool stuff happening. The Witch King is not good. I would like to see the Barrow Wight and the Cave Troll
I'm
smushed
with you,
together
Damien.
into a
Very sharp,
birder.
though.
Nah, it's shit. Smushed together into a birder. But I just think it's great fun. It's got all those cool Angmar pieces. It's got just barely enough Angmar Orc Warriors. I think it'll be great fun to play. You've picked them in perfectly. Nobody can deal with even the Witch King alone, let alone with the Barrow Wight as well. Let alone with Shade, let alone with Gulliver. Like, you just gonna... This is going to be a Damien win, and I'm disappointed I'm not going to be able to see it.
If Damien wins a tournament in the woods and Sam isn't there to see it, did it even happen?
I can't wait to see the league table after this with Damien and Andrew Hannigan skyrocketing to the top. The state of it.
You don't have to wait. I can
George
go and make that happen now.
Yeah. You two playing George and Denny at top table last game is just... I want someone to live stream that for me. I want to see that.
I think the biggest advantage that we have going into George and Denny is they're playing 100 points down.
Well, they're not now. They've got special fucking dispensation, haven't they?
Special
sausage.
No.
Yeah, and actually best army
I
title
think
too. Best army title.
I think we'll play
this
100
has big
points
Damien
down.
Vibes?
I will give all credit to Andrew for that army title. It was and it was the first one that came out when I said, "What are we calling the army?" It was the first one that came out.
He's been posting pictures of Gulliver, hasn't he? I'm sure he's posting pictures of Gulliver recently on the page. Am I crazy?
I think you're crazy.
Oh, okay.
Might be related to your previous comments, but
Okay,
I think you're crazy.
All right, could be. Other than the shit Witch King, it's great. It's cool. It's excellent. It's good fun. Give the man some more will, for pity's sake.
Maybe I will when I get my 3 points from Justin.
Yeah, apparently that's allowed now. Right. Thank you both for joining me, and thank you to Justin for running this great event and also for putting most of this presentation together for me. Thank you very much. It was really helpful not having to do that myself. Thank you to the 3 or 4 people, at least a couple of whom I know who you are in the chat. Thank you for sticking with us, coming along and joining. Thank you to the people who are watching this back afterwards, because it should surely be recording. Surely, he says. I believe it is. I'm certain it is. It's been fun. I've enjoyed doing this. Don't laugh.
You're going to hear about it if it wasn't recording.
I know it is. I think I can.
You were going to hear about it from someone.
Submitting a great list as well. This is really cool. All right.
I think we do well until like round 3 when we get matched up against one of those shooting lists that's also been doing well because they picked the music and then it all falls to pieces.
No, look, it's just Witch King, pull someone out, Gulliver into him. It's all good. You're fine. They can't do shit. All Gulliver's got to do is be fighting one little elf. It's a piece of piss. You can do that. It's a cave troll. I'll worry about that. Poor fella's. He's on a hiding to nothing in the middle of a shade, but that's all right.
Okay. So hypothetical.
Okay.
No. Let's
go
get
on.
some.
Go on. I was trying to do a last minute snipe and then get out, but you've got the last word.
No. Okay, so if we had rejigged, we did many rejigs. And at one point there was a Fell Beast in here as well as a Gulliver, but no Cave Troll.
Excellent.
Yep. So you would have. We got 2 flying threats versus.
It's just knowing you was it,
because we were losing some more.
Was it unnecessarily an armored Fell Beast? Just
no, it wasn't this time.
If this was me, this was me doing it. I think genuinely I would drop the Dead Marsh Spectre and maybe like a Warg Rider and get the blade, and I would get the Fell Beast instead. On the other side, I'd combine the Barrow Wight and the Cave Troll into a Birder, and then just put a few more orcs on that side instead. That's probably.
What's the difference? What's the point difference between Cave Troll and Birder? What's the difference between Cave Troll and Birder?
It's like 30 or something.
It's not like points wise.
Points wise.
It's like 30 or something. I think it's not much.
See,
there you go. Yeah, 30.
Cave Troll is 80, Birder is 110.
Yeah. Thank you, Brady. Yeah. 130 points. So I mean, you drop the Barrow Wight, upgrade it to Birder, and then have 4 or 5 more orcs. That's what
is there a world where you're dropping? Do you drop the banner to get? Or is the banner so good with the shade? It's probably too important with the shade, yeah. You're definitely dropping something to make Cave Troll better, I think.
I think you definitely are.
Throwing spears are only 1 point on Warg Rider. They're ridiculously weirdly costed.
Yeah. So what, that's 14 points or 13 points to those Warg Riders. So 13 points to Warg Rider, drop a Spectre.
200 weapons. You don't want to drop your model count too much lower.
Well, because you're putting 4 or 5 models back on the other side though if you do this. So your model count's still going up overall, even if you drop a Warg Rider and a couple of Orcs to turn the Witch King into a Fel Beast. That's just what I do if it's me personally.
Anyway,
thank you for the list advice. You're welcome.
sorry, not not telling you. No, it's theory crafting.
It's nice to hypothetical, yeah. Absolutely. Like this thing went through so many iterations.
Too late now.
And we're happy with what we have. We know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and we're showing up to have some fun.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a list without some finicking about, Denny talking about the exact number of spears you should have or the ratio of might on different heroes and things. So, right, I'm going to finish this here now before I cause a rift for Man Damien by criticising his insane decision to bring a Morgul Blade to this event. Thank you both very much for joining me. Thank you to the punters out there for being absolute heroes. Thank you to there's actually discussion going on in chat about how much the cave troll costs. I love to see it. We've got a live, exciting chat scene here, and they call it a mine. You guys have fun down in Christchurch. Have a good time side by side. Said I won't be there with you, but I want to talk about it afterwards.
I'm sure all three of us will actually see each other at SouthCon as well.
Yes, SouthCon, not Fog.
Yes, sign up to SouthCon. Don't worry about this Fog spam that's going all over the page. SouthCon, League Go South. King's birthday weekend.
Everybody watching this should come to SouthCon.
It's going to be awesome.
My favourite event of the year, even including Fog. So it's going to be great fun. Looking forward to it already. We're doing a road trip. Me and George and Jenny are doing a road trip down from Christchurch. How much fun is that? It's going to be great.
There'll be so much Cave Troll point discussion.
So much Cave Troll point discussion. We're going to be dismantling this list. I might bring it to SouthCon, what it should be.
A laminated piece of paper for us to discuss in the car.
All right, Addies.
Well, you show up with your Birdo version of the SouthCon. It'll be fine.
I will. I'm doing it. Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys.